Money does not disappear because you failed to make a budget. It disappears because you were taught to believe budgeting alone creates financial security. That belief is costing people years of progress. On Money Made Easy, we talk honestly about money, not in theory, not in spreadsheets, but in real life where income is limited, expenses are relentless, and motivation fades. If you have ever tracked every dollar and still felt broke, this is the conversation you have been waiting for. Budgeting is a tool, not a solution. The real issue sits deeper, and once you see it clearly, your entire approach to saving, investing, and building wealth changes permanently. Why budgets fail even when you follow them. Most people blame themselves when a budget collapses. They assume they lack discipline, willpower, or intelligence. In reality, the budget itself was never designed to fix the root problem. A budget only tells money where to go after it arrives. It does nothing to change the systems that drain it, the habits that sabotage it, or the mindset that keeps you stuck in survival mode. When income is tight, budgets become restrictive instead of empowering. Every category feels like a limit rather than a plan. Over time, this creates decision fatigue. You start strong, tracking every expense, but eventually the mental load becomes unbearable. One unexpected cost breaks the system, and the entire budget is abandoned. The problem is not that budgeting does not work. The problem is that budgeting without structure, automation, and purpose turns into punishment. The real problem is cash flow control. The true enemy of financial progress is uncontrolled cash flow. Money comes in, money goes out, and nothing meaningful is left behind. If your income enters the same account that pays bills, handles emergencies, and funds lifestyle spending, you will always feel behind. When cash flow is mixed, saving becomes optional. Investing becomes something you will do later. Building wealth becomes a distant goal rather than an automatic outcome. People believe they need more money, but what they actually need is a system that controls money before it controls them. Financial stability begins when saving and investing happen first, not last. Until that order changes, no budget will ever stick long-term. Saving is not about leftovers. Most budgets treat saving as what remains after expenses. This is backward. Leftovers rarely exist, especially when income is modest. Real saving happens when money is removed from circulation before it can be spent. This is not about extreme frugality or deprivation. It is about priority. When saving is automated and protected, it becomes non-negotiable. The moment money lands, a portion is already working for your future. This shift alone transforms financial stress into financial control. You stop relying on motivation and start relying on systems. Investing fails when it is treated as a reward. Many people tell themselves they will invest once they are comfortable. Comfort never arrives. Expenses grow, responsibilities increase, and investing remains postponed. Investing must be treated as infrastructure, not a reward. Just like rent and utilities, it must exist inside your financial system from the beginning. Even small, consistent investments compound into powerful results over time. Waiting for the perfect moment costs more than starting imperfectly. When investing is automated and boring, it works. When it is emotional and occasional, it fails. Building wealth requires identity change. The most overlooked reason budgeting fails is identity. People try to manage money while still thinking like spenders instead of builders. Wealth is not built through restraint alone. It is built through intentional behavior repeated consistently. Builders think in systems. They separate accounts by purpose. They design money flow to remove temptation. They focus on long-term outcomes rather than short-term relief. This shift has nothing to do with income level and everything to do with decision architecture. Once you see yourself as someone who builds wealth, your financial choices change naturally. Budgeting stops feeling restrictive and starts feeling strategic, the system that replaces traditional budgeting. Instead of obsessing over categories, focus on structure. Income should enter, be divided automatically, and move with purpose. One portion handles living expenses. One portion is locked away for saving. One portion is invested for growth. What remains can be spent freely without guilt. This approach removes constant decision-making. You no longer ask if you can afford something. The system already answered that question. Budgeting then becomes a review tool, not a daily struggle. You look at patterns, adjust flows, and optimize over time. Stress decreases. Consistency increases. Why this works long-term. Human behavior does not change through discipline alone. It changes through environment design. When money is structured correctly, good decisions become easy and bad decisions become inconvenient. This is why people who rely solely on budgets feel exhausted, while those with systems feel calm. One approach fights human nature. The other works with it. Over time, saving grows quietly. Investments compound in the background. Wealth is built without constant effort. That is the goal Money Made Easy exists to teach, making it work with any income level. This approach is not reserved for high earners. In fact, it is most powerful when income is limited. When resources are scarce, efficiency matters more than perfection. Even small amounts saved and invested consistently outperform large amounts done occasionally. The habit matters more than the number. Control creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunity. You do not need a better budget. You need a better system. The truth about financial freedom. Financial freedom is not about tracking every expense. It is about designing your life so money quietly supports your goals instead of constantly demanding attention. Budgets help you see the problem. Systems solve it. Once you stop blaming yourself and start redesigning how money flows through your life, everything changes. Saving becomes automatic. Investing becomes normal. Building wealth becomes inevitable. This is how money becomes easy. If this perspective helped you see money differently, subscribe to Money Made Easy for more practical, evergreen financial guidance. Share this with someone who keeps budgeting but never gets ahead. The right system can change everything.